Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Horns N Hooves. We are so excited you're here, and we have some special guests today. Renee Myers with Little Lucky Cattle Company posted a while back that she was using peanut butter lick tubs and some other products that True North Feeds are carrying and have. And so I asked them to come on and talk to us because I think all of us, I've seen so many posts that everybody's wanting to know more about this. And I think it's awesome because I think the process is incredible and you don't lose your nutrients that way. So I brought Trevor and Nichole on to talk to us a little bit about how this all come about and give us some information on it, because there's people out here in the cattle industry wanting to know. And I think this also hits not just our niche with, the Highland cattle, and that I think it hits multiple niches out there with any kind of beef cattle. And maybe even, I don't know a whole lot about the dairy side, even though my husband was born and raised on a dairy farm. I don't know a whole lot about that side, but I think it can fill in multiple niches. And I do know that you have products for other animals besides just cattle. And I just want to hear more. I'm excited. So tell us, how did this come about?
Yeah, thanks for having us on. This is awesome. This is our first podcast. So
thank you.
Nervous, but this is great.
Thank you for coming on. Don't be nervous. We're just here. It's just us four having a conversation.
So True North actually started with a buddy of mine, John, who lives in Texas. And we were just we had our full-time jobs. And we're like, hey, why don't we start a company that, I guess we were like, we should focus on helping our customers, but also be having God at the center of our company, because there's so many companies that kind of start growing and then stuff switches and changes. And we kind of wanted to make sure that we were always focused on God at the center. So
I love that.
Yeah, it was amazing to start off. And so we were just kind of buying some odds and ends stuff here and there. So we posted on Facebook a lot what commodities that we were selling. We would sell all over the country. A company reached out like, hey, we get semi-loads of peanut butter and we get excess of it, so we don't know if you'd have any interest in it. And I'm like, well, I don't know what we're going to do with peanut butter. So we just started dabbling a little bit. My folks have been Redmond's dealers 8-10 years almost, I'm going to guess. And so we had peanut butter in the kitchen table, and we had Redmond salt and conditioner kind of laying around. So we started mixing and figuring out what we could do with it, and started out at the folks' ranch in 23, I think, mixing stuff. And I mean, we were covered head to toe in feed and using Dad's feed wagon to try and figure out a blend and scooping 5-gallon buckets, figure out a process that would work. And thankfully, my parents are amazing and my wife's amazing and kids are awesome, that we had a lot of love and support. Our original customers were just great to give us feedback like, hey, we're trying something. Would you give us all the feedback, positive, negative, what we can work on? And you just kind of started from there. And so a lot of sweat equity went into it. We used the folks' warehouse for their salts. We kind of made some room to put the mixers in there and kind of grew from there. So it's been a never-ending process, trying to always improve what we can and stay true to our core, but also take feedback with how we can improve better there. So
it's a very interesting process also. And what you put into these is interesting. If people don't know, I believe it's TrueNorthFeeds.com LLC. Excuse me. Check out their Facebook. They post a lot of videos on this. So I know some of us, you're listening and you're wondering, okay, where do I find this? They do have a lot of videos on Facebook that just interests me so much. It's interesting what's also in these. And can we go into the process of what you're doing now with them and how the tubs themselves are biodegradable, the cold press process? Can we talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, absolutely. So it's kind of cool how I grew up on a cow-calf operation. So that was kind of the backbone of how this all started. But then I was in corporate America college and worked for Poet, which was a great experience because I learned a lot about distillers and logistics and everything. But I also learned after 180 degrees temperature-wise, you start breaking down nutrients and vitamins and minerals called the Maillard effect. And so anything that gets heated above that 170 to 180 starts breaking down nutrients. And so that was something that we carried into our tub, because we know molasses is a great binder for tubs and a lot of people use them, but you also do have to warm it up quite a bit. And then that starts taking away. And depending on the process, I'm not saying all tubs or molasses tubs are that way. They're a great product for people that fit that need. But we wanted to try something different. And so we went with a cold press option. And so we have 1-ton mixers that we can scale everything in. So we use high protein distillers. We use our Redmond salt and conditioner because we were focusing on gut health, and we've seen how amazing those products have worked with my folks' ranch and their cattle, and just all the toxins that are out there, whether you're trying your best not to have toxins. I mean, Mother Nature throws wrenches and things, and you have some moldy hay, or your silage pile, you always get that crust on top if you're not wrapping it, or you're spraying for thistles out in the pasture and you have 2,4-D residue or something sitting there. Well, that's all going to get into the cow's gut one way or another. And so that Redmond's conditioner is a great binder to take all those toxins and shoot it out the back end while helping improve that gut pH. By keeping that gut biome and working optimal condition, it sure helps keep that cow or critter healthier, which then we've had a lot of guys say, hey, we've been feeding your tubs for the year and we haven't seen nearly the numbers with pink eye or foot rot. And so just getting those required nutrients in there sure helps clean up the after effects just by having a good high quality ingredients in there.
That is so interesting. I mean, you bring pink eye into it and foot rot because those are really the two top things that we struggle with every year here. And it seems like once one gets pink eye, they're all getting pink eye. It's like an endless cycle. We try to patch ours if we do have an issue. So I think nowadays our ground is just not full of the nutrients that we used to have. And so even for what the calves are getting or cows are getting being on pasture, their nutrition just is not the same as it used to be. Like you said, by the sprays and the what can come about in it, maybe some overgrazing, this and that. So I really find it interesting where you guys use the peanut butter. Some have the apple cider vinegar. What exactly does the apple cider vinegar do?
So apple cider vinegar kind of complements the Redmond's conditioner. So it helps buffer the pH. It's probiotic. So we get the mother with our apple cider vinegar. So it sure helps with the probiotic side of the gut health. And then it also is a parasitic. So it helps internal and external parasitics there too. So
that's awesome. I have Bill that comes out here and talks to me, and he can talk about that for a long time. That's his deal. He loves that this has apple cider vinegar, or you have the capability of putting the apple cider vinegar into this. Now there's another one that you guys put in.
Garlic.
Oh, that garlic too. But what's the other one?
Garlic and cayenne, and then we do a little bit with biuret.
Okay. So the garlic that you put in, is that year round? Or is that summer?
Depends on what the guy's situation. So the nice thing with our tubs is we have our beef optimizer tub, and then we can add garlic and cayenne. Guys want to feed it year round. A lot of guys start in the spring and stop in the fall just with fly suppression, but some guys like it to help with lice. It's fancy technical word, but it opens up your veins, so it helps with blood flow. So it's going to keep your cows warmer in the summer, warmer in the winter and cooler in the summer, just because it's helping with that blood flow. And it's also getting that garlic closer to the exterior, so you're having a lot more suppression with those biting insects, whether it's flies, ticks, lice. So it is a good year round for that aspect too, the cayenne side.
That's awesome. I've heard of people putting that in chicken feed, the cayenne pepper and chicken feed to keep their hens laying. That's cool.
Yeah, I think my daughter just did that. My granddaughter has 25 chickens now out there. So also garlic, I feel like sometimes with the garlic, we have troubles if we stop using it. Maybe it's just us. We stop using that garlic. It's hard for us to get them to go back to it. So feeding that year round for us I think is awesome. What else is in those tubs that changes the nutrition factor or changes things up versus any other lick tub? How's that?
Yeah. So I think the great thing, you had mentioned Bill. So it was great to have met Bill because Bill is a wealth of knowledge. He's been in the ag industry for 30 plus years. So he owns Wicks Mineral, him and his son do. They actually are, I think they're Custom Natural is what they're called, and they own the Wicks Mineral side of things. So we got Bill, it was probably spring of this year, and just pick his brain because we were wanting to implement apple cider vinegar into our tubs. And he was the guy that had the apple cider vinegar. And so just talking with him, talking about our tubs, he's like, oh, I'm so busy with minerals, I don't have time for tubs. And now he's one of our biggest advocates and selling all over and has guys all over the place using it. And it's just been a blessing to meet Bill and learn more about him. But just talking with people that have been customers with Bill forever, and even his suppliers with the mineral side of things, they're like, Bill tries to I hate the word I'm looking for. I make a mineral product that is over the top that you don't need, but have the best ingredients for the lowest price. I mean, I've dealt with a lot of other amazing minerals out there, and by far Bill has done that. He has exceeded my expectations for what's in there, because minerals are tough, because there are so many different facets of minerals. And I didn't know that growing up. Like, a mineral is a mineral, I thought, but there are a lot of minerals that just kind of get tied up and get kicked out, and they're only about 20 to 30% efficient. But there's others that are 80 to 90%, and they're a lot more bioavailable. And so talking with Bill and learning more about how minerals actually work, been a huge blessing to have his minerals in all of our tubs.
I need to call Bill back. Bill calls me on a regular basis to see how I'm doing, and he's also more than willing. And I think that is the same with a lot of your representatives that you have now. I see you guys are growing like crazy, bringing in feed representatives into this picture, and I'm sure you're busy producing, but Bill does a good job, and he'll come out and actually look at your cattle. And I'm sure all these other dealers that have started with you guys will do the same thing. Bill is a wealth of knowledge. I keep telling Sean, I'm like, you've got to meet Bill. You need to actually have a conversation with Bill, because he doesn't understand. So like with your guys, everything is that you need is in those tubs. So you don't need to be putting out you don't necessarily need to be putting out the molasses lick tubs, and then your salt, and then your mineral. It's all in one tub, correct?
Correct. Yep. We don't classify ourselves as a protein tub or a mineral tub. We're a gut health tub. So we're trying to get that gut biome back to where God had intended to. And we do tell people just to have mineral out there just in case cattle are deficient, just because if our intake has been about a half pound to 3/4 of a pound on our tubs, give or take environment. But if they're not getting exactly what they need out of that, then a mineral source right there, you'll see a significant decrease in mineral consumption with our tub out there. But just in case they're lacking, we tell people just to have it out there just in case.
Yeah. So we do use Redmonds also. So we do have, Sean puts the free choice out there. But I'll tell you what, I love the fact that you're also saving, you don't have all those tubs around because they're biodegradable. And how awesome is that? Where did you guys come up with that part of it, that aspect of it?
I think that was you, hon.
Yeah, that was my idea. I don't even know how it came about, but yeah, just knowing that the other tubs are made of plastic, and then you've got the plastic tubs blown all over the fields, and then what do you do with them once they're gone? Just piles up. So we should look into a way to make it biodegradable, or just a little bit more earth friendly.
I love that. So you also have, I see the kids packaging your baby bovine. Let's talk about that a little bit. You tell us what that product is and what's in it and why it's so good.
Yeah, basically just the same as our lick tub, just in an oral paste form. We kind of started that, trying to find the kids something to do, keep them busy, and we had all this extra peanut butter. So trying to see how we can get them into the entrepreneur spirit, but also create a product that is cheap and affordable. Obviously, coming from a cow-calf operation, we know inputs. Feed inputs is one of your most expensive inputs that you do each year. And so trying to come out with a product that's cost-effective to end users and also a value-added product. And so we came out with these tubes. It's a 30-gram baby bovine tube. It's pretty simple. It's peanut butter, honey, colostrum, vitamin A, D, and E, vitamin B12, Redmond's conditioner, and we just started putting in a hind gut probiotic.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And we've had great success with them in the last couple of years that we've been starting with them. And we have customers that give them to every calf as soon as they're born, just so they can get that energy to pop up and get that needed colostrum. It's not a replacement for colostrum by any means. It's just trying to get that calf up and start sucking right away, because we know that first 6 hours is the most important time to get that calf up and sucking and get that colostrum that they need. We've seen guys that use it on 4 or 5 weight calves too when they're sickly out in the feedlot, and give them a 2 with some LA 200 and they pop right up and start getting back on feed, which is exactly what we want to see happen. So it's kind of cool to see the large variation large demographic of animals that it can help with. So
when I was looking at the ingredients in there, I was so impressed because it's natural ingredient, and they're also getting their vitamins. And putting honey in there, we all know honey can be natural. Is there other purposes for the honey in that particular one?
No, that's it. Is an antibiotic and just helps that gut.
So when do you use this? As soon as the calf is born?
Yeah, so we have some guys. I know we've got quite a few customers that give it to every calf right as soon as they're born, especially if you're calving in the early spring or winter. South Dakota winters or just Midwest winters are hectic most times. So trying to get that calf to the right start there and getting them up and sucking is a huge win. So we have some guys that give it to every calf. We have some guys that if they have a sick calf, they just tube or give them one quick. So it's kind of personal preference there, but I mean, you're looking at bottle calves at $900 a calf. I mean, they're a pretty easy investment there to keep a calf up and moving.
And Renee from Little Lucky Cattle Company was telling me that she loves the size of it because it's easy to maneuver. It's easy to get it in their mouth versus some of the bigger ones that people have, and also get them to actually keep it down. He was telling me about that. So impressed. I need to order me some of that up because, like I said, I use the lick tubs right now and we have been so happy with them. And I'm also happy that I don't have those containers all over the place. That's been awesome.
I have a question on it. So it's all gut healthy and like just keeping them healthy. Is there something you add in for reproductive to like help with that? Or is that just fall in line with the other stuff?
Yep. So it just naturally falls in line. We've had a lot of people saying that their conception rates have been up just with being on the tub full time. But again, if you're fixing your gut, a lot of everything else kind of falls in line because you're getting the gut biome where it needs to be. And then that makes that cattle function at the highest capacity that it's designed to.
Awesome. And you have other stuff for other animals too? Is that right?
So we just started a sheep line, which I am not familiar with sheep a ton. We had a first stint growing up, we had sheep, but I fall heavily on Bill and a couple other dealers that are big into the sheep side. And so picking their brain of what works, what doesn't work. We've got a couple big customers in Oklahoma and Texas that have 4,000 head of sheep that are we sent out 14 ton of sheep tubs this morning, and they're gonna.
That
is a
is
really big
awesome.
regenerative guy down there that's trying them out and loves them so far. So we're really excited to see how well they work for them and go from there. So
that is so exciting. So if I remember right, do you have different tubs for the cattle for your cows versus the calves?
Nope, they're all the same because they're all
the same
on gut health. Yep.
Okay. You guys also have an electrolyte powder, is that right? Is that a rehydrate? I thought I seen.
On the human side.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the human side of things. Okay. So you have a rehydrate packet that's on the human side of things. Let's talk about that. I have not got to look into it too close, but I did see it on your Facebook page.
Sure. Yeah. So that's just Redmond Life. So they have Redmond Agriculture side, which is the Redmond Salt and Conditioner. And then they have a human side of things, which is Redmond Life. And so they have, you can touch on that, Hunt.
Oh, yeah. So we're dealers for them too. So they've got electrolyte drinks. They have energy drinks, the salt that we use, for our own use. What else do they have?
Pre-workout.
Yeah, there's a pre-workout powder. So
They have a lot of stuff.
yeah.
Wow, that's neat.
Their ingredients are clean as well. And that's something we're big into that with our tubs, obviously for the cattle, but for ourselves, gut health is just as important. So we want to make sure the products that we're using are clean and as natural as can be. So we're big Redmond fans.
I'm starting to become a big Redmond fan. I like that idea. And we all know, even for humans, everything starts in the gut. If your gut is not healthy, you're not going to be healthy. And that's the same with cattle. And cattle, they've got 4 rumens that they had to keep healthy also. And that's a lot. And if they're not healthy, your calves aren't healthy. And it just trickles down from there. And then all of a sudden you got the bad bills and you got everything adding up at once. So I love the fact that you're keeping all your nutrition in those cold pressed tubs and that they're natural and they can get those vitamins and minerals that they're needing. It's so awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, it's been a fun journey, and it's cool to see in the last year how things have increased and trying to stay true to our core, but also branch out and help other local communities there too. And that's why we love our dealer base and trying to find these entrepreneurs themselves that are interested in finding holistic ways to better their herd too.
That is so awesome. And I also think that it's so cool that you have your kids. I seen your I don't know if it's your oldest daughter or not, behind the microscope on Facebook the other day.
Yeah, we try to recruit our kids to help us. We're a family business, so we need everyone's help to keep things moving. And the tubs we make in our garage. So we homeschool 2 of our kiddos. So she's the second oldest girl and she was looking for a job. So we put her to work making tubes.
That's so cool. I think that hands-on learning is so important. And that's things that they're not going to get in a school system either. I think that there's so much to be said about learning that stuff. I mean, right now, I shouldn't even get into this. Granddaughter's in 4th grade. Yeah, there's that saying, are you smarter than a 5th grader? I don't think I'm smarter than a 4th grader at this point. The homework is ridiculous. I'd much rather be making something baby bovine or cold pressed tubs or whatever than doing what I had to help her with last night. She's like, Grandma, I see in your glasses you're asking ChatGPT.
That's awesome.
Anyway, Taylor, can you think of any questions that you have where you have not? Yeah, go for it.
I was just going to ask, like, what's next? Like, do you guys have something else coming up that is in the works?
We have been asked about a deer tub.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, I don't know much, but I've got buddies that are big into deer and game fishing park friends, and so maybe that might be down the road. We're just trying to this is our first full season, I would say, in our new warehouse. So we moved out to our warehouse in August of 24, and we've got 2 full-time guys that kind of do the day-to-day operations, which keeps us rolling, and they're amazing and give me crap every time I go out there because I'm always messing up something and getting in their way. So I'm trying to help out where I can, but also know where I need to be. Yeah.
You're like, go back to PR, boss.
Yeah, get out of here. Try and keep them running with making tubs, especially now with high demand. So trying to unload distillers while they're pressing so we're not falling behind. And we try and keep our delivery window between 7 and 10 days just because after that, guys, you're like, well, blizzarding out, we need it now, and trying to keep everybody full while we can. But I think we're just going to enjoy where we are right now. Maybe look into a deer tub in the future, maybe near future, I don't know. But the guys are always like, we're adding another tub here because like I thought we were going to keep this with a couple tubs. Well, my guys are interested and excited and it formulates out, so why not try something new and keep it growing? So
I suggest a mini donkey tub. Because I mean, mostly donkeys, like it's just salt, really, right? But there's other things that can help. I raise them. I have plenty. And I don't know if you know this, but like you're in Rapid, right?
we're in Sioux Falls.
Oh, you're in Sioux Falls. I
Yep.
don't know why I was thinking. So you just have a place in Rapid City?
Nope, that's Renee's.
Just Renee is
Yeah.
there. Oh, okay. I was thinking that you had a place there in Rapid City. So my husband and you guys talked just a little bit. We own a feed and custom cleaning seed store here in Crawford.
Sure.
And you have, I think, a rep in Hayes Springs. So we need to chat about later because I love it. And after hearing all this stuff on it and really getting to dive into it, I would love to have that stuff in our place.
Absolutely.
And it's great for me because whatever's on the shelf, I can just take right on out to my cows. It would be nice.
Awesome.
We recently delivered a bunch of feed to a dealer down in Oklahoma, and they had one donkey. And when they put the tub out, that donkey chased away all the cows because he wanted to make sure that he was the first to get it. And it was actually pretty comical.
There is mixed reviews with peanut butter. And
Yeah.
so I'm trying to keep everyone safe. So I talked to some guys in the horse world. I'm like, yeah, peanut butter's fine. I talked to others and they're like, well, it says that after extended periods, it might mess up the horse's gut. So there is a disclaimer that for rumens or not for horses, but we've had horses out with cows and bulls in with cows and bulls in with horses and they've been eating them and they're just fine. Just trying to keep everyone safe and protected just in case there's an outlier there. So
Yeah, there's a disclaimer on it, but my mini horses, mini donkeys, they eat it. I feel like they know what they need themselves. And I feel like it's like us. I mean, with our junk food versus our healthy.
Better at it than us. You're like, no, I don't need that.
Exactly. They are way better than humans, honestly rationing themselves as far as what I have seen with my animals. I just love the fact of the all natural. That's what made me take a second look when Renee posted, okay, let's see what's all in this. Peanut butter, for one, was intriguing enough as it was. And so I have been using them. I can't tell you. I have I'm on my second load right now. I would say 2 or 3 months, somewhere in there. And I am seeing a difference once they started. Some of them took to it right away. Bill had told me, he's like, it could be a couple days before you see anybody. Well, it didn't take a couple days. It took a couple hours and they were already checking it out. They already had some of my, my cows have a pecking order, and those cows that were there, they were pushing everybody else away. Well, then those were like, okay, what she got? This is obviously something we need. And it's been great since then. Now, I do want to ask about storage. So when you're storing these tubs, because you have a biodegradable side, do you find any issues when it is raining excessively outside or heavy snow or anything like that affecting the tub?
When we first started looking for a biodegradable tub and something that would work into our press, we started with a sonotube. So a sonotube is basically an exterior mold for making ridge pillars. And so they dig a hole, put it down there, and then they fill it with concrete and make a bridge pillar. Well, they are guaranteed for 48 hours of monsoon rain. They're very well built, the tubes themselves. And so they're relatively thick. They're probably half-inch thick, maybe a little less. The tubs themselves are built for weather, being out in pasture and whatnot. We do recommend that you keep them in a cool, dry space just to help the longevity there. But yeah, we've had guys that put them out in a dry lot, and then they had to move cows, and so they threw it in the bucket of the pickup, and it was just fine, and hauled it out to the pasture and dropped it off to the next place. So they're a very durable tub as well as that way. So
awesome. And we've noticed that too. I just had to ask a question because I know that the listeners are probably curious about it. We've had them out in the rain, and there might be, the rain liquid on top of it. They drink that up like it's nothing, and it doesn't affect anything as far as breaking down the actual peanut butter inside. It actually stays. They have to be licking on it. It's the rain or whatever doesn't seem to be breaking it down any faster. That's the words I'm trying to come up with.
Yeah, and the pressure from just pressing it and the high fat, the fat kind of wicks away water too. So it's kind of a dual purpose there to sure help water stay out of there too.
That's awesome. Do you have any more questions that you can think of, Taylor?
I don't. I think awesome product.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So anything else you guys want to highlight on?
Just we love doing what we're doing. I went to a sale, but also like a convention type deal in Nebraska a couple weeks ago with Bill, and just meeting like-minded people in the regenerative ag and trying to do things differently and seeing the pros and or the way getting back to nature and getting back to the way God made things and like not over-circle people down there. And just through this whole process, I didn't think we would be where we are today. I didn't think we'd have an employee, let alone two, plus everything else that's going on. So it's been a blessing and a huge roller coaster ride, but it's been awesome. And we just love paying it forward, and we'll answer any questions. It's so fun because when Renee posts something on Facebook, she has a huge following. So people all over the country are like, hey, how do we get your tubs? I'm like, well, where do you live? I live in New York and I want one tub. I was like, that's fantastic. We don't have a dealer out there, and freight's going to be about 6 times as much as the tub would be. So we got to figure out a way to get more.
You guys are growing fast, and I love it for you guys. I love it for your family. I love everything that you guys are doing and what you stand behind. And it really does come back to what God intended us as people and our cattle to actually have, and the nutrients and all of it. It's just like I said, it intrigued me from the very beginning, and I'm so happy that we got started with them. And I'm happy that Bill's fairly close. Taylor and I are in Nebraska. We couldn't figure out. We were like, why is he saying Central? Or is he because we thought you were on Mountain Time.
One time, so I'm like, I don't know. I can't remember.
We got it both in our head that you were in Rapid City, I think.
Oh, sure.
And
She's on Mountain and I am on Central, but I'm like, we got to get him on because I want to pick his brain a little bit more. And Bill, I can get him on when he comes here to deliver my next pallet, because Bill has said, technology is not my friend. You can send a text, but you need to send it to my son because I'm not. It's not how I roll. He said, I'll be calling you. And he's been calling, and I love it.
He is so good. Like, Bill is a wealth of knowledge and fantastic. He has taught me so much in the less than a year that I've known him. He is not technologically savvy. So I always text him if I have something that I don't need a quick response for, but I need to remember it. And then I call him, and he's usually on the phone with somebody else, so he'll call me back sometime.
I'm glad that and I hope he utilizes it. When you call him, he has set hours, and I think he needs that because I'm sure he's a busy guy. And he talked, like I said, he's probably called me 3 or 4 times since we got started. And I honestly need to call him back. I didn't call him back last time. Just thank you guys so much for hopping on with us and taking time out of your day. I know you guys are busy people, and I'm excited to see what comes to you guys in the future, because I think that you guys are doing something very special, and I absolutely love it.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for having us. This was a blast, and got the jitters out, and now we're good to go. So
right.
Bring on more podcasts.
If you think of anything else you want to talk about, you know where we're at. We can bring you back on anytime. This episode of Horns N Hooves We will see you next week with another special guest. We are so excited that you guys tune in and listen to us, and we'll see you next week with another guest. See you guys.
Bye, guys. Thank you.
Bye. Thank you.